I think I'll just make a short video about teeth. It seems an odd subject, but I would like to share something that could be valuable. My teeth are in terrible condition. As the preacher in the church once said, like a row of condemned buildings. And I have this snaggle tooth now in the front of my mouth, which I didn't particularly like, because starting from being a fairly ugly man, I've become almost frightening, I think. But the Lord just told me to leave it, and not to be bothered about perhaps having a slightly threatening appearance because of it. It's helpful. And I did first go to the dentist to see. I've said this before, but people, my videos are never listened to, quite rightly. I went to the dentist to see if they could fix it. I thought they maybe cut a bit off or something and make it look a bit more normal. But that wasn't the case at all, and they sent me off to a specialist at great cost, I will say. And the fellow was, I think, an Ishmaelite, but he might have been a Sikh. I suspect the former. And I didn't take to him at all, because he treated his nurse with great disdain during my examination. He bullied her. He wanted to show who was boss. And his whole spiel to me was really his expertise. And at one point he told me that if I didn't follow his instructions, then he wouldn't continue the treatment, and it was all going to be, he was going to teach me and tell me what to do, and I must do it. And I don't like it when people say that to me. I don't think anybody does, do they? But, if you're starting a job, I suppose. I thought it was a bit presumptuous. But he explained that what he was going to do was to cut my gums, all of my teeth, cut them open, which of course would have been fairly traumatic. And then he was going to pack powdered cow bone around the roots of each tooth, and then sew up the gum pockets and leave that in place, I don't know for how long, and then that would cause a general improvement in gum health and would assist root growth where a nerve was remaining in my mouth. And that was the procedure, and it would gradually lead to me being able to save this crooked tooth, which he assured me otherwise would surely fall out within a year. And that was the procedure, and the cost was, I can't remember, but it was, probably about £1,000 or something of that nature. Now, because I didn't do that, and because I was just about to get into the carnivore diet, I became interested in this idea of cow bone. And instead of brushing my teeth with toothpaste, I started brushing with tallow. And I used to put different herbs in the tallow in liquid form. You can buy cloves and oregano, which is even stronger. Those are both anesthetics. And I also used to put in frankincense and myrrh, which I'd read were good, and tea tree oil, and also some peppermint, in fact, at one point. So I made a mixture of this with all the tallow, and I started brushing with that. Now, over the years, I've discovered that the tallow is the important part of that mixture, and I'm more wary of using peppermint and tea tree oil, because they have a disinfectant property and a sterilization property that you don't really want. Because what you're doing when you brush with tallow is you're feeding the gum pockets, you're firming up the gums, and you're just getting this beneficial health in your mouth. So you're building the best possible microbiome in your mouth. And, you know, I clean my teeth regularly, but just applying, really making sure that the gums are well oiled, should we say. Now, I eat a mainly carnivore diet, so if I eat a carnivore diet, you don't really need to brush your teeth so much. Yeah, you get bits of meat caught, but the things that are in your mouth and around your teeth are compatible with the human body, so they can be reabsorbed. They won't cause irritation. But if I eat a piece of bread, for example, or anything really, a walnut, then you get tiny particulate that collects around the base of the tooth, and it becomes an irritant. And if I'm not meticulous about removing all that material, then probably in a day or two I will have toothache, because it causes inflammation. So, my recommendation to everybody is to use the tallow. Don't use toothpaste, because unfortunately toothpaste mainly will cause this sterility problem, and also some toothpaste contain particulate, which is used as a buffing compound, and it's not good stuff. And there are better toothpastes that you can get, that have better ingredients, and perhaps, of course, if you're going out or something, you might want to use toothpaste. I use what's it called? A bicarbonate of soda, usually, just to try and get some whiteness in the front of my mouth. And I will brush my teeth with soap, because sometimes you might want to get rid of the grease that's in your mouth. Washing out your mouth with soap used to be a punishment for saying the wrong thing, but it's never really bothered me. I found it to be beneficial. You just have to rinse for quite a long time, because you don't really want to have soap in your mouth. But since I started this practice, and this is perhaps the thing I should stress, I have really had no problem with my teeth. And I used to go to the dentist at least once or twice a year and spend quite a lot of money. And my teeth have just been strong and no pain. And if I do get pain, then I know what to do, to get the tallow in there and to get out whatever particulate has lodged in there, and to get that healthy biome back in my mouth. So, do that. It really works. God bless now.